I'm going to try and make this a quick one because this kid's waiting. I've got something down my top and now Twinkl. If you don't know what Twinkl is, it's a website where you can access all kinds of educational resources. You can pay so much a month and get access to lots of different things, or you can have a free account where you access to some things. No matter what the outcome of this review is, I've heard Twinkl's amazing, and the things I've seen from Twinkl have been pretty amazing. The only reason I haven't gone on it before is because I haven't got a printer. But then Maria from the Richardson Simple Living and Louise from Home Education Journey UK told me that you don't need a printer now. They've got like an eco-friendly option where you can download stuff to tablets and computers and do it on there. So I thought, oh great, here you go. So I went on, but not for long because kids are today. And I see they've got a section called, I might get the name wrong, excuse me if I do. It's something like Roma Gypsy Traveller History Month. I don't know if I'll get access to all of it because obviously it's a free account, I'm not paying. But the bits I'll get access to, I'm going to review because I thought it might be beneficial to you if you're thinking of doing it, because I am a traveller. I don't think there'll be anything offensive on it because the Traveller Movement, which is a Traveller Gypsy charity, has helped them create it. And I think it's wonderful that Twinkl is so inclusive that I can't think of anything else, any other education resource that includes travellers, that includes gypsies, and it's not racist towards travellers and gypsies. So that is really good, and I really love that about Twinkl. However, this is just personal preference. I'm going to look through it, tell you what I think. If it's worth my kids seeing it, I'll do it with them. If not, I won't, because my kids are traveller kids, they might know it all already. But this is personal preference, and like I say, I can see why it's a good thing, but I don't like it. It's like when Morgan Freeman was saying he doesn't like Black History Month in America, and he was talking to the interviewer, and he says to the interviewer something like, you're Jewish, do you want a Jewish History Month? And the interviewer was like, no. And he was like, well, exactly, I don't want a Black History Month. My history is American history. I don't want well, one, I don't see how, I know, like, you know, it's a start. A lot of people who aren't travellers seem to not, their information's wrong, or they don't know. That's a massive generalisation, and I realise not everybody's like that, but some people are. One, I don't, even though it's a starting point, I don't see how you can condense down thousands and thousands of years of gypsy traveller culture into a few worksheets. Two, I don't like it. Two, travellers are so diverse, I don't see how they're going to not stereotype him by accident. And three, a lot of travellers and gypsies, this is why they object to the documentaries as well on telly. They don't want people knowing too much about their culture. I mean, I don't like Thelma Medine, but even Thelma Medine off Big Fat Gypsy Wedding said they're very private, they don't want anyone to know anything about them, they've even got their own language, which is true to a point. So I'm trying to go in with an open mind, but I may be pleasantly surprised. But at the moment, just looking at it, I thought, why? Why? No! So yeah, I might be pleasantly surprised. I'm going to try and keep an open mind and look at it from the perspective that if you aren't a traveller and you know nothing about it, you've gone into it in good intentions because you're trying to educate your kids about travellers rather than hating travellers. And I'm going to try and go into it in the mindset that I'm looking for what's actually factual and what's not offensive, rather than I don't want people to know that. Do you know what I mean? And I'm also going to ask my mum's opinion My mum won't appear on camera, but my mum is a traveller in her 60s, and she has seen a lot more changes to our way of life, to our rights, to the changes in culture over the years than I have, and she hasn't got to worry about it. She's in her 60s, she's not bothered if she offends people or not, so she would tell it how it is. So you'll get my perspective, my mum's hopefully, if she agrees, and like I say, even if we don't like it, but I'm hoping I will, I'm really hoping I will, but if I don't take this as a blast against Twinkl, because they are amazing otherwise from everything I've seen about them. So yeah, I'm nervous about doing this, because every single time I mention travellers on here, on my blog, I lose likes or subscribers, which, there you go. But we'll see. So when you go on Twinkl, this is what comes up for Gypsy and Traveller History Month, and I'll show you some bits up close in a minute. And it's all Key Stage 2 or Key Stage 1 by the look of it. Gypsy, Romany and Traveller History Month fact file, assembly pack, resource pack, Gypsy flat paper flower craft, another resource pack, but that's Key Stage 1, that's Key Stage 2. Oh sorry, I clicked on it. Key Stage 2 Travel History Month comprehension worksheets, the same for Key Stage 1. Cut out letters, cut out banner, cut out pictures, Roma and Traveller timeline worksheet, mapping Gypsy, Roma and Traveller journeys worksheet, Gypsy and Traveller history fact file worksheet, bunting, another fact file. A lot of it seems to be the same stuff. Oh, that's cute, look, it's a colouring page of a Varda, you know, wagon. More paper flowers. I'll show you what I downloaded. From what I can see, it's incredibly basic, but if it's only in Key Stage 1 and Key Stage 2, it's going to be incredibly basic. And they can't, I suppose they can't go into too much detail, or they'll have people like me going, why have you told people that? But I've got to find it now. Files. But it's a lot. I'll show you what I've downloaded, but my opinion so far is that you could cover all that in a 5-minute conversation. I wouldn't bother. The only good thing about it is that it's inclusive. Oh, and the only thing about it that I did think was interesting was, I'll show you when I find it, it's the history bit, because it does mention the Holocaust, and it does mention the Henry VIII, and you know, like the different laws about travellers. That's the only thing I found that was interesting. But look, quite a lot of it I can't access on the tablet. So I'll show you what. This is the Traveller Timeline Activity Sheet, Key Stage 2, so there'll be an easier one for Key Stage 1. This is the only thing I found remotely interesting. Research and record, and then you've got to do your own research. Look, it's not actually on Twinkl. Research and record what events happened in the Gypsy, Roman traveller culture in the UK, Laura. Early origins, Henry VIII, Scottish and Welsh laws, Turnpike Act, Mechanical Fairground Rides, the Children's Act, Holocaust. So they're all interesting topics, but they're not actually on Twinkl. You've got to research them yourself and then write it down. What else was there? It pretty much just says so a lot of travellers live in houses now. Oh, this is just telling you the point of this, to raise awareness. Oh, and you know, we do tarmacking and gardens, but we also do other jobs, and that we're all diverse and we don't all live in houses now, and there are some famous travellers. We call caravans trailers, which is true. I'm trying to find the bit that weren't true. Oh dear, there was a bit on here that weren't true. It must have been on a different bit. there aren't enough sites, we face prejudice. It's just stuff that you can, stuff you really can just cover in a 5-minute conversation. I suppose it's a cute little thing to do if you want to. And like, if your kids know absolutely nothing about travellers. Oh yeah, look, here's a bit that weren't true, and this comes up twice. Problem with gypsies and travellers face. All children have to go to school. Well, that's not true, is it? I mean, I home educate, and there's a section on Twinkl for home educators, so they know that's not true. All children have to go to school. Not true. But for families who choose to move around, it can be difficult to find school places. The law on travellers going to school is you have to have one school that's your main school. But you can also go to different schools as you travel around. But there's one school which is your main school, which is like your stamping ground, I suppose you'd call it. And you only legally have to do 100 days at school a year. They can put it down as traveller absence if you're not there. And that saying all children have to go to school is not true. That's what winded me up. That's because I home educate. So I know it's not true. But yeah, it's a lot of... They are, look. It does say, look, travelling communities have often been treated unfairly. Which is true. It does say that travellers are very diverse. It does say we have been treated unfairly. It does say, you know, we're not all the same. But other than that, it's extremely basic, doesn't tell you a lot. You could cover it all in a 5-minute conversation. But it's a cute little thing to do if you want to, but I'd call it, I'd consider it a waste of time. Even if we weren't travellers, I'd consider it, I'd think, what's the point in that? But, see, this is where I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Half of me wants to say, it's not worth the paper it's written on. Because it tells you practically nothing, and it's just noise basically. And the other half of me wants to say it's really good they've included us, it's really good that they've said, you know, we're diverse, we face prejudice, blah, blah, blah. But see, how much of it is just box ticking? We could say we've included travellers, it don't really matter that we've said practically nothing. But maybe that's it. Maybe there is practically nothing to say. I mean, we are just like other people. We are people. End of the day. I'm going to find out my mum's opinion and then tell you. I've just spoke to my mum. She thinks it's a really positive thing. Anything that draws attention to the discrimination and prejudice against travellers is a good thing. And I agree with her there. And anything that draws attention to the fact that travellers are just people, so stop villainising them, is a good thing, and I agree with her there. But my mum said the actual work, you could trim a lot of the dry stuff, add more interesting stuff, and add more content, and I agree with her that as well. So I'm going to end it by saying essentially it's a good thing, and like I say, Twinkl are the only people I know who are doing this, so they are pioneering, kind of normalising travellers. But it could be more interesting, there could be more content, even though it is, you know, it's key stage 1, key stage 2, there's only so much they can put in it. And I suppose I'm thinking, oh well, you could cover that in a 5-minute conversation, because I am actually a traveller. If you know nothing about travellers, I suppose it might be worthwhile. My mum thinks it's a really good thing, and I can see that point, and I do, but on a personal level I just don't like it. So yeah, it's a good, what I'd say is it's not good enough on its own, but it's probably a good springboard, a good starting point to finding more content and discussing travellers in a more deeper, meaningful way. So I'm just going to say, as a resource on its own, it's not good enough, but as a resource that springboards you to other things, other conversations, then it's okay. And my mum approves. And if my mum approves, then it's good. I'll see you next time for any video. Bye bye.